We'll call it. I will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for Wednesday, May the 1st, 2024 to order. If you will rise and join us in the prayer and pledge, please.
Heavenly Father, soften my heart and clear my mind just long enough that I can pray for the individuals in this room. All that they have going on in their lives, all that's going on in their minds and in their hearts. I pray for each individual to have a wonderful day today, that we all have a wonderful time this day with one another, and that we all make it home safely to our homes and to our families. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just have one thing to say before we start the agenda. We have a birthday boy in the room, so Commissioner Treecost, today's his birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, man.
Okay, number one is public comment. Do we have anyone signed up? Okay. We'll move to the consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All, motion carried. Sorry, I looked down. We have no payroll change notices.
That is correct.
That caught my eye. And we have no minutes.
That is correct.
And Commissioner Hinkle, are you on Zoom? And also, is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Please note that Commissioner Hinkle is not here. Okay. Number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices as shown on A, vendor list of payments.
Motion approved, A, please.
Motion to approve 5A. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Number 6, it appears we just have exonerations as shown on Exhibit A.
That is correct.
What's the pleasure on number 6?
Motion approved, A, please.
Motion to approve 6A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 7, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District Series 2021 A and B Development District Number 3, White Oaks Project Number 2, and Series 2008A Charles Point Project Number 2, Northland Bay Improvements A and B.
Motion approved, A, for $6,198.75, A and B for $3,245.03, please.
Okay, the motion is to approve 7A and B for the amount stated. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 8, review, discuss, consider submission of final performance report for CDBG-CV grant.
This is Michelle, Director of Special Projects. This should be the last report or the last document we have to send to the state for our CDBG grant. I submitted the reimbursement request a couple of weeks ago, and they sent back this document, the final performance report, and I obtained the programmatic information from Community Action. So we'll just send it in and hopefully close it out.
So our approval is just to submit the final.
And sign,
performance.
yes, and a signature, yeah.
So motion approved and adopt the signature, President, please.
Okay. Motion to approve submission of the final performance report and affix the necessary signature, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 9, review, discuss, consider execution of letter of intent with mobile infrastructure related to acquisition of Clarksburg Surface Lot 327 Washington Avenue. Potential executive session pursuant to 69A4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, The investment of public funds or other matters involving commercial competition, which if made public might adversely affect the financial or other interests of the county. Can somebody speak to this? Please.
If my breath is caught up. We went round and round with mobile infrastructure. They ended up accepting all the proposed changes to the letter of intent. And we're good to go at this point with moving forward with the letter of intent, which will allow us to do the due diligence related to the acquisition of the parking lot.
So that's the next step, due diligence.
It's the next step, yes.
So do you need a motion to do due diligence, sir?
A motion to accept the letter of intent as presented and to affix signature.
As stated by the county attorney.
Okay, motion is moved as stated by the county attorney. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. 11:05, special funding request, Marion County Beekeepers Association to host Beekeepers Conference, $500.
Madam President, there's an individual here from the Harrison County Beekeeper Association. If you would please allow them to go to the podium, identify themselves and explain.
Is there someone here from Marion County as well? I mean.
Hi, I'm Deanna Crow and I'm the Vice President of the Harrison County Beekeepers Association. We established the Harrison County Beekeepers Association in October of 2023. We are up and running. We have our 501c3, all our license and everything. We are planning a honeybee festival in September 14th and 15th at the bridge in Bridgeport. We have some funding coming from Waste Management and Quality Hydraulics. It's gonna be pretty good. We're gonna do it every year annually, but we're gonna start out small this year. So, but we are here, the old club disbanded, and we wanted to keep it going. Bees are important. So, but we're asking for funding.
Yeah, but you're not on the agenda today. I mean, Marion County
I know,
is.
somebody told me.
No, I did. What I wanted to explain is, have you been invited to the Marion County?
No, we have not.
Okay.
Don't know anything about it.
Thank you.
Well, Marion County's on the agenda to speak. so I
Right.
think we have-
Yeah.
I'm Chuck Sanofsky, Rick Abel, Hudson Snyder, and Debbie Abel, Marion County Beekeepers. We're one association of 21 associations of the state of West Virginia Beekeepers Association. We rotate spring meetings throughout the state of West Virginia every year. Next year, in March 28th, 29th, we're planning on a spring meeting for the state of West Virginia Beekeepers Association for all districts, and the public's invited in the Fairmont area. That meeting will be held. We're requesting funding to help pay for speakers and the facility that we'll be trying to utilize to put this meeting on. The West Virginia Beekeepers, there's about 1,000 members in our association. The general public, like I said, is welcome. There'll be advertisements out for the meeting. Rip, you want to
Yep.
say some more?
The last three conferences that have happened have been spring and then fall conferences, 2 fall conferences, and the attendance at those from all across the state, and it brings in attendees from Ohio, Virginia, Pennsylvania, a little bit from Maryland, depending on whether we're north or south. But it averages 200 to 300 each time, and the economic impact of that's pretty good. They're going to be there for 2 days, which means there's at least an overnight. And the impact in terms of educational stuff is pretty big. We're bringing in 5 national caliber speakers to bring people up to speed with what's going on in the apiary community in terms of the new challenges to beekeepers and to the bees themselves. And so that kind of an educational thing is important not just to the beekeepers themselves, but to the public in general. So there are a lot of things going on from the educational side of things, and then the economic impact of bringing this here instead of it being in Charleston and Harpers Ferry is pretty good to the central part of the state. And this part of the state, really, it's Clarksburg, Morgantown, Fairmont is the core of the central part of the state, and the economic development here is all intertwined, as you all well know. So any questions you've got, we'd be happy to field them.
The only question I have is, I'm gonna make the motion to go ahead and give you the $500, of course. And at the same time, could you communicate with our people so that they do know what's going on?
Uh-huh.
And will you please, when you leave, get with Hazel, she'll show you exactly how to apply for that. And then when you have your event, then we can help you too, because we're here to help anybody. And we want to be all inclusive, and we talk about, I say the word mutual aid, I think every meeting. So we're all in together, and
Right.
when it comes to North Central West Virginia, let's just make it as friendly as we can.
Absolutely.
And the young lady is right out the front desk. Her name's Hazel.
She's already put out the paperwork, we reviewed it to make sure that she had everything.
Thank you, madam.
We'll be on the queue.
I like when you're one step ahead of me.
No, I
I'll talk after the meeting. Hey, motion to approve $500 for the Beekeeper Association of Marion County.
Motion to approve $500 for the Marion County Beekeepers Association Post Beekeepers Conference. All in favor? Any discussion, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you
Any
very much.
opposed? None, motion carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. 11:10.
Conference, March 28th and 29th and 2025.
Thank you so much.
I have.
We have to get all of our Ds and stuff in front this morning.
I saw where a beekeeper helped get away, or take care of some bees in a baseball game last night.
Yes.
You should come to a county commission meeting tomorrow.
Good luck.
For the entertainment.
No, I mean for the swarming.
Thank you.
Okay, 11:10, we have a special funding request, inclusive playground project in honor of Ivan Gonzalez. Sherry is here, but I believe Joe is here. If you wouldn't mind.
I'd like to focus it.
Okay.
What I'd like to do is give just a quick background on the project, and then let her talk about their specific portion of our project. Okay,
That's fine.
I have a couple. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so the city of Bridgeport, about a year and a half ago, we began fundraising, grassroots fundraising for an inclusive playground that will benefit North Central West Virginia. For about the past 20 years, we've hosted the Bridgeport Little League Challenger Division of Little League, which is a baseball program for children with physical and mental disabilities. And I could talk about that for an hour and a half because it's the most wonderful
It's-
program that we're involved with. Never been to it. You need to go to it
It's a
and
great
just watch it.
program.
I think it's tomorrow night, isn't it? Tonight, yes. So, you know, working with our mayor, Andy Lang, and his lovely wife, Lisa, we got together and we decided we needed to do something more for that community and those children and that are impacted. So we began a proposal to build an inclusive playground. If you think about to our childhood, when we had a playground, you had one thing I've learned working in some of these communities, we're typicals, right? So we're typical humans. So they call us typical. So we had a typical playground, and then it wasn't really accessible, wasn't really useful for, children that had special needs. So then we still had our typical playgrounds, then we'd have a special playground over here. If you remember, that used to happen, the areas. So they'd build a special playground just for those kids. So they were over there by themselves. The typical kids were here. Then we would build a playground and we'd have a little section over here that was trying to be inclusive. So the new trend now is to build an inclusive playground, which you try to remove as many barriers as you can so all children can participate together. So, when we say this is an inclusive playground, it's for all children. So don't think we're building a playground that, if you're in a mobility device, it's just going to be for you. It's going to be for you and your family members, you and your peers, you and your grandparents, if you have a special need. So we've tried to remove as many barriers. We've worked with industry professionals, and I've given you one thing it's kind of a misnomer, I guess, when we say this is an inclusive playground, it's actually an inclusive park. So this is about a 1 acre site. This will be at the Bridge Sports Complex. So we see this as a featured destination playground that any child can use that visits our community, visits the facility, whether they're from out of town, locally, whoever. It's going to be an incredible facility that all children can use. So, we've done a lot of grassroots stuff. Andy and Lisa have really beat the bushes. We're working with the Medbrook Children's Charity. They're our title sponsor. So it is going to be the Medbrook Children's Charity Inclusive Playground. But we've also worked with community members, businesses, local grants, regional and state, federal grants. We've worked at, this is all grassroots, a little bit of money, seed money from the city came in. We've raised about $1.3 million to date. So we just broke ground the other day. We stripped the topsoil. The equipment should be rolling in this week. But it's built in 3 or 4 phases. So right now I have money for all the earthwork, infrastructure, drainage, all that stuff that's going in now. Working with contractors that are donating time, equipment companies are donating equipment. So it's been a really neat program that's brought a lot of people together. We're still funding for the last phase, but we're still driving forward with it. So, just a few features. And if you look at the second picture I gave you and just some of the stuff I was talking about, and I picked this one because it has a merry-go-round, and we all had merry-go-rounds at school and play. And you can see this one it's kind of a 0 depth type of merry-go-round. So if you're in a mobility device, wheelchair, walker, whatever, if you're a grandfather who doesn't get around as well as you used to, and you're there with the kids, you can get right on that merry-go-round, and it's geared, so you can't make it go 800 miles an hour like we used to when we were kids. But so that's just an example of how we're working with with our professionals in the field to remove barriers. So I can answer any questions you have on the playground. But we do have a lot of special children that we've worked with over the years. And I know that we have an Ivan Smile program that his mother's going to talk to you guys about as well. So I'll answer any questions you have on the playground, and I'll turn it over to her.
Trey, Mr. Attorney, who do we give the money to? Because they'll become taxpayers. How did the city of Bridgeport do what they did?
We have a 501c3
Okay.
established. It's the Friends of Bridgeport Recreation Incorporated. I believe that documentation was given to Laura. So we do have that. We have the documentation letters, all that stuff.
Okay.
Correct. And just our form, we did all the paperwork for that.
Perfect.
So they do have that. I think the letter as well. So they do have that.
Yeah. So even the Ivan Smile program that she's
I
going to
just wanna
talk to you
make sure
about.
you're on board with how we would do that. Okay.
Yeah.
I won't say much. I'll just say, how I got involved in this is a friend of mine and a coworker from Fairmont State University said, let's raise money in honor of Ivan, because I think part of the idea too is based on how much money someone gives. So we're trying to raise $25,000 in honor of Ivan. So then we can have like a plaque with his name, or we were really hoping for maybe a piece of equipment that could be named in his honor. I'm not exactly sure how that's all going to play out, but that's the idea. And if we raise $25,000, then we would be considered like a top donor, to this project. So, and I'll just say, for a friend of mine to do that in honor of our son, I don't really have words for what it means to us, but, the fact that we can still carry on our son's name, in this way means the world to us. The way our community has embraced us is just beyond words, really. And we've been so appreciative, of the community support and family support. And to have a playground like this, a park, where, like he said, not just children with disabilities, but all children can go and play together, is just huge. It's a wonderful, wonderful project. And so Ivan's friends will, get to play at this playground, and maybe his name will be somewhere there, that we can honor and remember his name. So that's why we're asking for some funding to go towards our $25,000 that we're trying to raise. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry.
President, can we make a motion to, in Ivan's name, to the county administrator, to the 501c, to give $5,000 to this playground for all children.
So your motion is for $5,000 to go through the foundation, I guess that's the correct thing, but Friends of Bridgeport in honor of Ivan, correct?
Please.
We good with that sound?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. Number 10, review, discuss, consider GSA update potential executive session pursuant to 6(9)(a) 4(b)(9) to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which if made public might adversely affect the financial or other interest of the county.
We do. Motion to go in executive session. Do I need a number, Trey?
Just state for the reasons stated in the agenda.
Stated for the reasons stated in the agenda.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We'll be back. There is no action to be taken on number 10 at this time. Okay, number 11, review, discuss, consider request to travel for 911 employees, West Virginia Northern Community College in Wheeling, June 18th, 2024, APCO disaster operations class for those listed A through G. And actually, we have the same thing on number 12. I don't know why we just can't do these together. Same place, June 17th, A through G.
Now, on number 12, it just did.
Different, a crisis
Different.
negotiation class, right?
Motion to approve A through G on both 11 and 12, please.
Motion to approve A through G on 11 and 12. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. 13, review, discuss, consider sheriff's request to transfer funds A through C, and those are listed attached to the agenda, what he wants to do, correct?
There it is. So
Okay.
in 701 process, he wants to transfer $1,200 from line item 701-459 to line item 701-219. And transfer $700 from 701-459 to line item 701-225. And 703 staging is a transfer of $58.96 from line item 703-103 to line item 703-341. And transfer 382.02 from line item 703-103 to line item 703-345. And in 730 security, transfer 350 from line item 730 to line item 027 735. Transfer 40879 from line item 459 to line item 341.
What's the pleasure on number 13?
Motion approved A through C, please.
Motion to approve 13A through C. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. You have anything, Laura?
I do. So last week at the county commission meeting, you commissioners have voted to, that all of those would be for Dawn Dower as our region board director for the West Virginia First Foundation. Since Jonathan Ward got moved to a different position. We received a letter yesterday from, Mon County Commission. They've been the one who has been taking care of all this. And evidently we need to vote in another manner. So they are going to have a meeting on Thursday, May 9th at 9:30. The representatives can attend in person or via Zoom, and then that person has to cast the vote. Our representative to go to that meeting, cast the vote, is Commissioner Nichols. He's the one who participated and was voted on to represent last time. So I know he's not here today. I'll get with him about going to this meeting to cast the vote.
If not, I can probably step in.
I'm sure someone else can go.
That's fine. Anything else? Mr. Treacle?
No, ma'am.
I have nothing.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We're adjourned.